Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
He likes to cook and I like to eat. I'm Ralph. I'm behind the camera.
Well, we're a little corny today.
Yeah, I can smell that corn, which I love. Corn.
So, of course, you know what? During the summer, we have access to some of the finest, most delicious sweet corn grown anywhere, especially in the beautiful state of Michigan. However, we're not in the summer anymore, far from it, unfortunately. But we still love corn, and this time, Ralph, we're going to have a cream corn.
I love cream corn.
I know you do.
Those C words, comfort food, cream, corn, yum.
So here's what I did. I've got about 3 cups. Since the best way to make good cream corn is to get fresh corn on the cob, cut that corn off the cob, and use that. We just not in December, it doesn't happen. So anyways, what we've done is I'm using some good frozen corn. You can see I just heated it with a very little bit of water, okay? Just enough to really take the thaw off of it, okay?
Yes.
We certainly don't want it mushy. We want it as crunchy as possible.
But the trick is getting lots of butter going in the next pan.
So in this next pan here, it's exactly what we've got. We've got 3 tablespoons of butter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this corn.
Uh-oh.
You're like, what is he doing? I'm going to take about half of it here. About a cup of this corn. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop up part of the corn. Okay? So we're going to take about half the corn that we cooked, and I'm going to run a knife through it, and I'm going to chop it. Okay? So that it's sort of in smaller pieces. I don't want to do it with all of the corn.
Right, you still want a little bit of texture.
You want
and
that
crunch.
texture, right?
You don't want it mushy, but you want it a little smaller than the normal kernels.
So we are just going to take this corn and run our knife through it, like I said, and just, you don't want it, we're not making baby food here.
Yeah, don't go too crazy.
We don't want it too crazy, but we do want some pieces of corn, and that also releases that delicious kind of corn milk, the
Yes.
liquid that's inside of corn.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we were inspired to make this dish because, Lawry's Seasoning, which Kevin loves and uses, it's a classic. They have a restaurant in Chicago.
They do. Lawry's the prime rib.
And it's a really classy, fun, kind of funky and fun and old-fashioned and all at the same time. Anyway, we had dinner there recently, and we had the most delicious cream corn. Cream spinach everyone's heard of, and we love that, but restaurants don't often have cream corn. You see it in the cans all the time, but was that good.
All right, I'm going to take our pieces of corn here. We're going to add that first. Okay?
Yeah, you're right when you talk about that milkiness that comes out of the corn. It makes it so creamy. I think that's why it always goes so well with butter.
Yes, it's all sort of those same flavors.
That richness and yumminess.
So now I'm going to take the rest of our corn here, our whole kernel.
Oh, you mix the chopped with the whole.
Yes. Okay.
Gosh.
That was just, again, we didn't want. I didn't want all of that
Mushed.
Yeah, but just some. I'm going to try to not get the water here, so.
The water's good, flavorful. Or is that just frozen water?
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
All right, now we've got the bits and the whole kernel corn, and we're essentially sautéing it in 3 tablespoons of butter. Okay, so again, we started with about 3 cups of frozen corn, which we cooked quickly with just a little bit of water in the pan.
And then chopped about how much of it?
Half of it. Now I'm going to put some fresh ground pepper in here.
Just a touch to spice things up.
Of course, a little salt.
Brings out the flavor.
Then, now, if we were using the corn that we enjoy during the summertime, it's sweet. But because this corn, it's good frozen corn, but I'm still going to put in maybe a teaspoon of sugar. Okay?
Okay.
Now let's get this all mixed together here.
Yeah, there was some corn we had this summer that, boy, you would have swore it was boiled in sugar. It was so sweet.
Yeah, so good. All right. Now we've kind of got this. Now you can't have creamed corn without cream. Now you can use heavy cream. You could use half and half. You could use whole milk. Anything short of that is going to be like putting water in here.
So
okay.
Don't use almond milk.
You need that. You need that. Don't use. It's not the right thing for this. Okay.
Right.
I'm putting in about a cup and a half.
Some of that fat in there.
This is half and half. Okay. Because that's what I had on hand, and we are going to let this cook.
So it'll be half healthy and half fattening.
And we're going to let this kind of cook. Here's what we want to happen. We want this to sort of thicken up a little bit, but we also want give the corn a chance to absorb some of the cream.
I've heard of give peas a chance, but now we're going to give corn a chance.
Give corn a chance. Corn, and in the background, corn.
And an artist that we got to see recently that some people think of as corny, but we love him to pieces, Doc Severinsen.
We saw Doc Severinsen play with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra
at
2 nights ago.
At 88 years old.
The guy's 88 years old. He blew that horn like a kid, told a lot of funny, great stories. It was one of the best concerts, I think, we've been to in I don't know how long. And we see a fair amount of shows, but if Doc Severinsen comes to your town and is going to play especially with your symphony orchestra like he did here in Detroit, get a ticket.
Yeah.
He opened with the Tonight Show theme.
Of course.
In and of itself was worth it, just right there. Look how the cream is almost turning a yellowish color from the corn.
Yes,
so we're gonna
picking up that color, and it's also just filling this kitchen with a wonderful, buttery, corny smell that we love.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of let this go. I want this to sort of thicken a little bit too, as it should as it cooks and reduces. If not, we can always thicken it up with a little corn. What do you call it? Corn powder.
What are you trying to say? Cornstarch?
Cornstarch.
Corn powder.
Anyways. I'm gonna get the dishes
you
ready.
Need to get off that corn whiskey.
There's too much corn going on.
Or maybe not enough corn whiskey.
So you know what? We'll be back when this creamed corn's good to go. Look at it smells so good.
It still looks a little thin, but yeah, it does smell
yummy. It is a little thinner than I'd like. You can see the cream has reduced.
I wouldn't not eat it.
I don't want to have it reduced too much more because I don't want to lose the cream. So we're going to thicken it up. And I'm going to make a little slurry here.
With your corn powder.
Yeah, my corn powder. Cornstarch, okay? So here's how you do. I'm going to put in, we'll put in a couple of spoonfuls here of cornstarch.
Tablespoons, right?
Those are teaspoons, but
okay, whatever.
We won't need that much. Then you're going to want to take some cold water, okay? And just put in enough here. You don't want to. You want to make it liquidy so you can pour it. So put in about as much water as you did cornstarch, okay?
So you want a slurry, but not with the fringe on top.
That's right. No fringe on this slurry. Okay. Okay, you see that? Okay, so it just looks all right.
Yes.
With me? Okay. So now let's come over here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of this in. I'm gonna bring the heat up because again, this works with the heat. So I didn't put it all in, but if you can see what's happening almost immediately.
See, this is where you get to be kind of like an artist or a scientist. You get to put in a little, see how it goes, and kind of adjust as needed.
Yes. Not just. You don't want it too thick, but look how that's
right.
Look, so maybe I put in a tablespoon of slurry mix.
But you kind of trust your instincts, which is always good when you're cooking, is just get to the point where you're confident enough to, test textures and things and make sure that it's the way it should be and not just following blindly.
You know what? I've screwed up more dishes in my life, but I'll tell you what, I only screwed them up once, and then the next time I remember. Now, there you go. Look at that. I'm going to actually turn the heat
That's
off.
starting to look just like the ones we had, the cream corn we had at Lowry's.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thick. Okay. Nice body to it. Now, we want to do a last check just to make sure we're good on the seasoning. Yeah, Ralph. Okay. So, see? Oh, that's beautiful.
So this is the taste test part.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it going to be a little
garnish?
hot?
Yeah, it's going to be a little hot. You can garnish this with some parsley or chives. Wow.
Creamy?
Creamy. Buttery. Sweet.
So you didn't need to add any more of the slurry, and it's just at the
I'm not putting anything else, not even salt or pepper. It's good. Yeah, very happy with
it. It's all good. And now imagine that in a nice serving bowl with a little garnish on top. I have an idea, like for a modification down the road.
Sure.
What if you were to add some kind of cheese to it?
Well,
don't eat it all. We got to take that somewhere. Look at him. He's in
you could add some cheese to it. It would be a very different kind of...
what would that do?
Well, actually, instead of adding the slurry to thicken, you could put some cheese in there, which would help thicken it.
Okay.
I would suggest something like a Parmesan. Okay?
Yeah.
Right,
that's
a little sharpness.
Fine.
And that would be good too, but yeah, here it is. We'll put this in a nice pretty bowl, and we've got our beautiful creamed corn. Great with turkey, chicken, roast beef,
It's hard to believe we haven't done this one yet because, we love cream spinach and we do a lot of corn dishes, and these are, wonderful sides that people seem to love. So glad we finally got around to
just beautiful
cream corn.
Cream corn. So, you know what? We had a great time putting this together. And we hope you had a good time being here with us. And we'll see you next time here on Cavalcade of Food. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.